Let's talk about this letter, Burn After Reading. See if that'll work. There we go. Maybe this one won't fall. Okay. First, we'll talk about the letter itself. And then let's talk about the surrounding situation with Brian Laundrie and Gabby Petito. And then let's kind of speculate about what do we think is going to happen with this letter. And I want to hear your thoughts. What do you think? And how this might make a difference in this upcoming trial. Okay, what's in the letter itself? Well, before we even talk about that, I want to mention that I haven't seen people talk about on YouTube yet, and maybe some have, is that there is a book called Burn After Writing. And Brian Laundrie's mother, Roberta, is claiming that her letter is in reference to the book. And the book is about journaling prompts for teenagers and adults to be able to write down feelings, but it would be like the kind of feelings to process through that you don't necessarily want anybody to read. So that is the significance of Burn After Writing. So that's the premises of the book. But the letter, it's, in my opinion, it's very, very damning. There are things in the letter that are just, I will love you forever, no matter what. And things like, if you go to space, I will be here waiting for you, which are incredible, amazing things for mothers to express to children that, hey, I'm on your side, and no matter what happens, we will work through, and I'll support you. Like, basically, I see it as whatever is happening are always learning experiences. And how do I say this? I always have a little trouble with my speech. But in one sense, it's a very wonderful type of expression to a child that, hey, we're in this together. You can always talk to me. I'm here, and we will figure this out, because everybody makes mistakes. But my concern, and I feel like your concern, is there's no date on this letter, and Roberta Laundrie is saying that she wrote it before Brian and Gabby took off on their trip. But there are some major damning things that are said in this letter. For instance, she said, if you go to jail, I will bake you a cake with a file in the cake. And the inference, obviously, there is you would have a type of weapon that you could either file something to unlock, or the weapon to stab and hurt somebody if Brian is ever in jail. So, and then the other more damning part is, if you need to dispose of a body, like for instance in murder, rather than being the type of parent to say, oh, that's horrible, you know better than murder, we taught you more than that, and just letting them know that you have consequences to suffer, and I can't help you out with that other than to give you some emotional support. But no, Roberta didn't write about that. She said that, if there's a body to bury, I will come with my shovel and a bag, and I don't know if they actually said to dig, like, I don't think she used the word grave, but the inference was, I will help you in any situation and I'll be your ally. So I'll be like your partner in crime. And that, I'm just going to throw my judgment in there. What a bad thing to ever share with your child, even if you kind of felt that way at times. That doesn't give your child any favors in learning the things that they need to know to be successful in life. So let's go back to what was happening at that time. Most of the world knows, but I'll try to briefly summarize it, that Brian Laundrie killed Gabby Petito on a camping trip, and we were all searching for the body. And internet sleuths like you guys broke open that case, and it was incredible. And you probably already know this, so you can go back and watch. There I am, distracted, but it's part of my learning experience. So Brian Laundrie came back driving Gabby's van without her, and the family went on a little camping trip. The family refused to talk to the media. Well, before that, they refused to talk to Gabby Petito's family. It was just basically ghosting them, not answering telephone calls, text, every way that they tried to get a hold of Brian Laundrie, because they hadn't heard from Gabby, was met with silence. And so it was very frustrating. And I remember thinking, how could these people treat their potential future daughter-in-law's parents with silence? It was an intense situation. So there was some surveillance placed on Brian while he was at his home with his parents, and this all hit the media. But Brian was able to get away without being followed. And so then we were hunting for him, looking for him. Sorry, hunting sounds like we're gonna... But then we were looking for him through the Everglades and the swamps, and we spent our taxpayer dollars, your taxpayer dollars, an astronomical amount of money and manpower to go through these swamps to see if we could locate Brian or retrieve his body, because it was a possibility. We realized that he may not be alive. And I'm going to throw this little caveat in, because these are some of the thoughts that I was thinking during that time. Looking back at Brian's history, we saw that he had had some interest in going to Central America to work on one of these, I'm not sure which word they actually use for it, but it's a place where you can go and stay, and there are many of them, and learn about like regenerate of the land for for farming. And they have like little huts. Basically, you go to work for free to learn some skills, and young adults have done this in a way to kind of separate from their family and friends, to give them time to think, get their hands in the dirt, and just process, you know, like what is my next stage in life going to look like. So I had this inkling that the Laundries had found a way to get Brian out of Florida, smuggled him down to Central America, and I was really feeling like, oh my goodness, he's going to be lost in the jungle with some people that you can only get to their house with, you know, tracking up on foot. So those are some of the thoughts that I was thinking, and I was wrong, which was totally great. But the disturbing part of finding Brian's remains happened when they had summoned the Laundries to come and look through these parks and see if you have ideas of where Brian may be. And that morning they did just that. They went to the place that the family had gone. They hiked through there and found his remains alone. Law enforcement was not far by, but they came walking back with a bag that had his things in it. So this burn after reading letter was a key of what they found in his bag. So it provided very damning evidence that the parents, or at least his mother, was involved in covering this crime up and finding a way for Brian to survive through this. So let me know what you think. I just did a quick summary. Share with me, do you think this letter, well, the reason that we're talking about it now, I forgot to say, is that the judge gave, wow, forgot those words. I think I'm a little rushing myself some. The judge approved that the Petito family that's suing the Laundries and their attorney, he approved that they could have the letter in their possession, and the letter was shared with the public. So I think it's very, very damning evidence. Of course, the letter is not dated, and we can see how Roberta Laundrie is working to wiggle out of that situation and say that it was a lighthearted way of referring to Burn After Rotting, the Burn After Rotting book that that she and Brian had a connection with. So let me know what you think, and I love reading your comments. It gives me a break on the flower farm, and when I come in, it gives me a chance to kind of look back and see, you know, a lot of insight and aspects that I hadn't even considered, and very good questions, and it's just helpful. I'm enjoying this thanks to you, and I hope you guys have a good day.